That Nsibambi opted to jump the queue and move alone because we believe that the time has come for us to discuss post-Museveni era government, and that's the discussion we are in. That's why we signed the IPOD, Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue. We hope to engage in this dialogue in order to have a peaceful Uganda, because we believe that if we do not have this dialogue, Uganda can end up in a worse scenario, because there is disappointment within the NRM, the disappointment within the opposition parties. Ugandans want a new framework to move the country forward, and that's the discussion we are focusing on. So he decided to take action alone, and we hope that he still thinks for the country wherever he is, and wish him well. Because the party has been going through is a structural challenge of the governance of this country. Just like you have many children who cannot get jobs, you have hospitals without drugs, you have police officers and army men who are paid peanut. That's the same disease that's affecting all institutions of governance, including the political parties like the FDC, like the UPC, like the NUP, including the NRM. So it is a structural institutional problem that the people of Uganda are facing. I cannot blame it on Nsibambi, that the challenge FDC has faced in Buganda is on Nsibambi. Then whom should I blame for lack of good roads in Tororo? It is a leadership crisis in this country for which Mr. Museveni has put us on. The earlier Mr. Museveni agrees to enter into a national dialogue for the people of Uganda to have a new framework post-Museveni, the better for the people of this country. About question of Buganda, it is a structural problem for the entire country, why many youths are unemployed in this country. It is not about Nsibambi, it is about poor planning in terms of governance. That disease is affecting political parties. That disease affects why so many people have farmers invest in agriculture and they cannot get returns of investment. It is a structural leadership crisis that this country is facing. And so that disease affects the FDC, has affected the NRM. That's why NRM primary was hotly contested. People died, there was violence. So even these candidates who are carrying NRM flag were independent. They are all challenge of Mr. Museveni, who needs to agree that we enter into a national dialogue to move the country forward beyond him, and time has come. Thank you. And I hope he will not abandon the thinking to move the country forward. Even within the NRM, we can still engage him to think positively to move the country forward beyond President Museveni. Songe buzibu Uganda tulina. Ebuzibu ziva ku leadership crisis ensi eno tulina. Leadership esonga ebuzibu waliwo ku somero abana tebasoma bulungi, ebuzibu abalimi balina, ebuzibu FDC alina, ebuzibu tulina edagala kudwala, ebuzibu zona wetaaga President Museveni akirize ati wetaaga tutule wansi tukanye tulabe nga Uganda sobola kutambula mu maaso ngo enaku zize atuse kwa kole retirement. Kati oba mukuru Nsibambi ayingire ku NRM kuyogara ku munda wa NRM agure ummaso ya President Museveni alabate ensi wetaaga tambule bulungi. Eyo sina songa, sine buzibu.
Women of quality. He is not a man of straw, so we shall definitely miss him. Fatigue applies to individuals. Maybe as an individual he has been fatigued, he has stayed long in the opposition, and he felt it is time to get new friendship elsewhere. But I can tell you, everybody who leaves us is a loss. And for Nsibambi's case, it's a bigger loss. What we need to do as opposition is to sit down and see how can we prevent such. In situations where we identify solutions, we should act on those solutions. Where we can't find the solutions, it's a different matter. But if we can find the solutions, we should. And for me, solution is uniting and agreeing to work together. Agreeing to continue to work together and pursue a common cause. I don't want to join those that say, tumuonye, let him go, good riddance. No. That way you are not building, you are destroying. Museveni, who seems to have numbers, is collecting and fishing more. Then for us, we celebrate departure of some of our celebrated colleagues. It would be wrong. I wouldn't do that.
What are some of the instances that before those who join this from the opposition, according to the way you have seen?
Yes, Museveni picks them and drops them. And I do not think that's an honorable thing. Yes.
Castigated leaders impose themselves on people. I mean, what did that statement? What do you make of that statement?
I thought the statement is as plain and in very plain English. You mean I should educate you on that?
What's the back?
Yes.
How do you judge it?
When people don't like you, don't impose yourself. When I lost the seat in Busiro, I did not fight to retain it. Even when some people were telling me we can do something, I said don't do it. Because the people of Busiro have not done it, don't do it for me.
Some people are questioning his moral authority.
His moral authority? I cannot question somebody's morality or moral authority. If he won, let him lead. If he did not win, let him surrender the chair. But not for me. I mean, I have not left the opposition. People live for different reasons. Ask him for his reasons. On the question of radicalism, when you radicalize and start eating yourselves up, I don't think it is sensible. So if you are sensible, don't eat yourselves up. That is where I will agree with him. But people have different strategies. There is a group that feel radicalism is the way to go. You give them a chance. If what stops people from talking, except if some are not willing to talk? I mean that you are noob, so you can't talk to DP, you can't talk to FDC, you can't talk to PFF for a common cause, for a common agenda, for common aspirations. Then you would have something fundamentally wrong with you. If you say you can't speak to NRM, that's a different layer. But even NRM, what stops you from talking to them, at least for those areas where you think these are areas of common interest? I have seen, you remember when Ethiopia had a civil war?
Yes, most recently.
Most recently? You remember when Ethiopia was fighting with Eritrea? Nobody could bring down an ET plane. That was an area of common interest, common aspiration. That this is the lifeline of our country, don't touch it, even when you're angry. So even when I'm angry with Museveni, I know that there are certain things I will not touch. I want to target and go for him, deal with him and destroy him politically. Deal with him, destroy his ideology politically. But if you're going to fight Museveni on one hand, then you're going to fight all the others in the opposition, something is fundamentally wrong with you. I think to that extent, I agree. But radicalism, diplomacy, that's a strategy.
But then, the